So welcome to Bold Thinking, entrepreneurial stories honestly told. In a world full of chaos, this is a podcast about the people making positive change in the world, using bold thinking to transform businesses and themselves. And we know we need a bit of that at the moment. So some say that actor Charlie Brooks needs no introduction, but we're not here today to talk about her iconic Eastender characters or her triumph on the dance floor and the jungle floor. Today we're going to talk to Charlie about her new role, that of an entrepreneur. We're recording this in October, the same month that Charlie's launching iampro, the online school that aims to make drama accessible to children everywhere. So welcome to Charlie.
Thank you. So good to be here.
So
I think this was the first interview I've ever done where I don't speak about Janine.
Charlie has got many skills, and one of them is being an amazing actress, but also she has had a brilliant brain for being an entrepreneur. And I have to say, because I've known Charlie for a while now, so I've seen it in action. So Charlie, I've got a few questions for you. This is just one of the projects you've launched over the next year. So what led you down the path of business?
So, as we know, I have been an actress for all of my life, and that's all I've ever done. And I've been really lucky and sort of successful in my career and, done a lot of theatre, a lot of TV. But as we all know, being an actress is really tough. Sometimes the work dries up, there's nothing around. And I got to a point in my life where I just felt like I was standing still and waiting for the phone to ring, and I felt a little bit like a puppet. And I was, I'm starting to lose my financial independence. I was very lucky because my ex-partner and Kiki's dad has been incredibly supportive. But I'm a girl that's used to making her own money. And so when that was sort of starting to become a problem for me, when I felt like my inspiration in the acting world was sort of running dry, and I didn't feel like I had like a niggling feeling that there was more to do. There was more for me to do. There was some potential inside me that I wasn't quite fulfilling, but I had no clue what that was. I'm a terrible one for self-sabotage and talking myself down in many ways. Well, I'm not good enough. I'm not clever enough. I don't know enough, as you know, Julia, because you've talked me through quite a lot of that in our friendship. So I decided to explore that and really start to challenge myself and my beliefs of who I was and what I was capable of. And I started by getting a business coach, because I think for me, the fundamental thing was to change my mindset, to shift out of that self-sabotaging, those voices, I call them the little bitches in my head, and put them back in their boxes, and really see what else I can do, and really see what else, was just inspiring me around the world. And so I started working with a coach who really did help me start to believe, from doing basic things like listing goals, what's important to me, what are my values, what would my dreams be. I really started to feel a fire in my belly, and I still wasn't quite sure what the business would look like or what it would be. And so I really kind of took some time to go in, and I just thought a lot about my childhood. And I had this reoccurring thought of when I was like 12, 13, I was from a small town in Wales. And I had a great local drama teacher and was part of the local productions. But, there was so many amazing coaches and tutors and teachers that I just didn't have access to at that point. And so I thought there's going to be a million other kids that are out there like that geographically can't actually get to any coaches and be part of lovely, well-made productions locally in the community, and kids that can't afford it. I'm from a really working class background, and it's tough and it's expensive. Some of these tutorials are like 80 quid for an hour. And so I thought, what if there was a world where we could get all of these coaches together on a platform to give a set of sort of 6 or 10 tutorials at a really affordable rate for kids. So it's like a Netflix subscription, basically, where they can really, explore their own creativity. They can really practice working on their voice. They've got easy access to Shakespeare. We cover the GCSE and the A-level curriculum. So we want to take it into schools. I mean, I do want this to kind of go global. I want to get it into the American market. We've got some amazing voice coaches from RADA. We've got a beatboxer, we've got a body popper, we've got singing lessons. There's so much. We explore puppetry, so different corners of the arts that kids just aren't exposed to. And also, I've just felt like careers in schools can be quite bland. And there's so many job opportunities behind the camera and backstage that children just aren't exposed to. Probably because of their background or where they've been brought up, or, there's a lot of nepotism that goes on within the industry. And so it's I like to say my strapline is it's opening up a pathway of possibility to these young performers, aspiring directors, producers, and also like DOPs, that's director of photography, lighting, a grip, gaffers. There's so hair and makeup, wigging. There's so many brilliant, rich, fulfilling job careers within the industry that these kids could potentially go into. But they're like, oh, I didn't even know I could do that. And so it's just having a platform where they can open the door. So alongside the tutorials, we have interviews with industry professionals such as the production managers, what they do, what their job entails. And so, it just will open their eyes to new opportunity, basically. And we want it to be, to have a really dynamic voice, obviously be really inclusive. And I don't think there's anything else out there sort of.
So what's the name of this business? So you had this bold idea and a bold thinking, and what's the name of the idea and the brand and the business called?
So it's called iampro.
Yeah.
That name came to me. I was working, throughout the coaching. I am kept popping up. I am. And we mulled around so many different names and possibilities, but iampro sort of stuck. So that's what it is.
It's great. So who are your customers for iampro? Who are you sort of appealing to? Because I love this idea of subscription-based business model. It's affordable. My sister's daughter is an aspiring actress who you've actually met, Freya. And, for her, £10-15 a month, that access to an online subscription-based sort of iampro forum for her is her sort of dream come true. So who do you see your customer audience being?
So our demographic is 14 to 21, basically. And then we'll have classes on their tutorials that are more for beginners, and then more that are sort of more in depth. We're working on a chili system. So we've got like the mild, the medium and the hot, where we sort of nosedive a little bit deeper into the practitioners such as Stanislavski, Brecht, Laban, Mike Alfreds. It's aimed at, it's obviously young people that want to get into the industry. But what I really find most important from the times where I've taught in drama is the difference it can make to kids' self-esteem and actually discovering who they are as a person, their self-confidence. And, it can be beneficial with so many different walks in life, no matter what career you decide to go into. It can just help you tackle difficult conversations, really feel assured in who you are and discover who you are, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for subscribers who are really willing to explore and play, be unafraid, get creative, take action on their ideas, upload their videos, join our iampro community. So I say 14 to 21, Julia, but this was basically a really expensive way for me to just get all my teachings in my pocket. So I'm nearly 40, and I know for a fact that I'll be watching loads of the videos. So it's like, I just thought of everything that I want to learn that I don't know. Having not gone to drama school, I went straight into Eastenders at 17, thrown into the deep end. So I sort of had to discover who I was very quickly. And we grow and we learn all the time, and we're changeable. I've lost my train of thought there. Hang on.
What's quite interesting about this is that, working honest with massive brands and entrepreneurs is, how most things start is with an idea. Then once you've had the idea, then you turn it into reality. Once you turn it into reality, you then have to have consistency around making it happen. And what I think is brilliant about iampro is, Charlie, and I'm going to ask you a question around this, is you had this brilliant idea. And then out from the back of that, you've written a really credible business plan. Out from the back of that, you've searched around you for help and people that can help you along the way. You've got an investor the platform is being launched or about to be launched, and then you've got this really clear 3-year plan of what you want to achieve. So for me, you've gone from ideation to reality now to actually delivering on that. So what have you learned along the way with that journey?
So along the way, a wise woman once told me it's all about 1,000 steps. So yes, that would be you, Julia. So it's when you feel overwhelmed, and I have to give a big shout out as well. My partner's in this. It's not just all me. My brother, who's in sound and production, is my partner, and his wife Emma, who's a teacher at a big school in Ealing. So we've got the right ingredients to bring this to life. And so I think a lot of it is about surrounding yourself with the right people, knowing what you want. And when you feel overwhelmed, which I do quite often, it's just doing one little tiny step at a time, whether that's sending an email, making the phone call, trying to find contributors, whatever that may be. Because I'm not ashamed to say I run away from a spreadsheet. I look at it and go, and run. So knowing what my role is as well, and not feeling too pressured that I have to be sat in front of a computer all of the time. And, and that's definitely not my forte, but that is certainly Emma, who's my partner, that is her forte. And knowing what your role is within the business and just taking small bites of the elephant, I think.
Yeah.
The question.
No, I think that's really good. I meet so many people that say, I'd love to set up a business, or, if they work for a massive business, I'd love to set up a department which is more around purpose. And it sits as an idea and they don't turn it into reality. And for me, what you've done is you've started on the 1,000 steps journey, and sometimes it is a bit scary. It's a new creative idea, but ultimately what you're doing is you're making progress towards a new idea, which is brilliant, and a new life for yourself.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and it's still terrifying. I'm going through all the videos going, oh my God, is it good enough? Is it going to be okay? We've got amazing website designers, but I've had so many ideas over the years and just thought, well, that's not my role in life. That's not who I am. I'm an actress. But actually, what's to say that is just all I am, and so it was being brave enough to explore that and take action on that. And to know that this, speaking to me 2 years ago, I think it would have been like speaking to a completely different person, because I've been like, no, there's no way. I've had ideas for things 3 years before they've come out, and I've seen them on a TV commercial. I'm like, I thought of that. I think we've all been there, but it's making that step from having the idea and knowing and trusting that actually you can make something happen, and getting out of the way of yourself, because I think I just put roadblocks in my head. And so slowly but surely, I'm just trying to smash those down and trust and believe that, why couldn't I design something? Why couldn't I bring this platform to life? And believing that, and then, just taking the steps towards making it happen.
So what's the best bit of advice you've been given along the way on this journey?
So one of them is from you, which is the 1,000 little steps. That is the best bit of advice I think anybody could have. It's actually called the Keisner method, which I've spoken to you about before. It's a great book that the name of it fails me, but it's just doing one tiny thing at a time, and that goes for everything. I think even like housework, just wash up the plates and then do one tiny thing. It's really simple, but sometimes I forget that and I get overwhelmed, and then all I want to do is hide under a duvet and not do anything. And it's like, no, just do that one thing. And then that leads on to the next thing. And then my dad gave me a great bit of advice. I don't know if we can swear on this. I'll take the swear word out. But he said to me when I was younger, he said, babe, if you can't reach something, then stand on a beep beep box. So, that's always taught me to strive for what I want in life. And I was lucky because I had really supportive parents, and I did know that I wanted to be an actress, and I didn't let anything else sort of come into my mind when I was younger. And they supported me in my journey to London to sort of make the dream happen. And it's finding that little girl again, that sheer determination that I had when I was younger to ring up all the drama schools for 2 years, get prospectuses, beg my parents, please let me go, please let me go, please let me go, apply for scholarships, look at host families that I could board with. like I took the initiative at that young age to do all of that myself. And I think somewhere along the line, you know, so much happened in my career, which was amazing, but sort of that little girl got a little bit lost, I think. And so it's slowly rediscovering that and rediscovering that determination and desire to make shit happen.
So how optimistic are you? You know, what do you see or you want for yourself a year from now?
Oh, well, I want iampro to have reached and had a profound impact on as many young people as possible. We have an affiliation with the casting director and talent agencies where they'll be going into our community. And so young performers have a real chance, you know, at getting into the industry through our platform, which is really exciting. So I would love for that to be up and running successfully, amazing contributors coming in. I have another product that's coming to market that I can't actually talk about at the moment. You know, I think like somebody once says, what's the definition of success? And for me, it's like, got to sound American, don't I, saying like all the time. For me, it's living authentically to your true self. And I feel like I'm getting, not that I don't think I ever have, but it's, you know, I've gone on a real journey over the last couple of years of just really exploring who I am and living really truthfully to who I am and what I want to be. So continue living on that path and, just helping others maybe find their purpose.
So do you think the world needs bold thinking at the moment?
For sure. Bold thinking and a lot of healing. This is what we talk about. Yeah.
I think you're right. I think there's a lot of, at the moment, there's a lot of fear, obviously, understandably so, but it's almost like, you know, change does create opportunities. And I think what I'm really impressed about you is that you've not only spotted, you know, unique opportunities in the business world, but embraced it. And a lot of people talk about affirmations and mantras, you know, I can do this, I better, which I totally believe in as well. But actually what I think is really admirable about you is you've created a series of actions. So you're not sitting around saying, you know, my life's going to get better. What you're doing is you're building a real plan around how that works. And I think, you know, that is something that is really powerful.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's been a really amazing journey so far, but it's sort of, even though everything's been, well, iampro has been a couple of years in the making, then we got investment in lockdown, which was unbelievable.
So why do you think you got investment in lockdown? What was so appealing about the idea? Because I think that's quite significant, the timing of it, wasn't it, almost?
Yeah, well, it was, because actually this is a product that would have been so beneficial in lockdown. Everyone was like, oh, did you think of it as a result of a lockdown? And actually we didn't. This has been something that's, you know, been bubbling for the last 2 years. We went down the one road with one investor that didn't work out. And somebody once said to me, you know, business is about people a lot of the time and people that you want to work with. And I think when those right people come together and our investor and myself have a really good working relationship. And I think he, you know, was willing to invest in myself and my brother and Emma as people because he saw our passion and our belief in what this product is and how it could change, you know, young people's lives, hopefully.
No, I think that's massive. I think I think the idea has been, you know, brilliantly researched and, you know, I think has a lot of credibility. And I think you're right, because the world is, you know, and this is another question is, you know, it is moving online at the moment a lot more, but you know, a lot of your career and a lot of your life is around experience and touching and feeling and being out in the world. So how do you see that sort of movement online versus sort of physical in what you do? So, for example, obviously acting is a lot about being around people and spontaneity, but then you've got this online sort of business now. So how do you see the two worlds complementing?
I think, you know, especially through lockdown, the e-learning platforms have been so well received. That was like a confirmation that we're on the right track. But there is nothing like being in a room with an acting coach or singing coach, you know, of course. So what we're really trying to do is mesh the two together with interactive lives that we'll have within the platform. And, you know, there's so many opportunities within iampro that we're already thinking about. Like, we don't want to run before we can walk, but we certainly want to take it out, you know, nationwide and get our coaches working with pupils with maybe an iampro, physical drama classes. But like I said, we're in phase 1. I mean, I can't believe that we're actually here. But yeah, we've got so many different ideas around that.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. So I was reading the other day a little LinkedIn article where the Odeon was sort of saying to businesses, come and use our space, So you could actually see iampro, getting your 5 or 10 of your best coaches, in an Odeon cinema as a little roadshow with, people sitting sort of like, safely apart, if you like. But actually, you can see this being quite physical,
Absolutely. We could have a day of workshop with 5 of our top coaches. That's a really good idea. Thank you very much, John.
That's for free.
That's what happens. I'm like, well, that's a good idea. They had to come up with all these ideas now from my brilliant brain.
No, I just read it the other day and I thought, I think that's a bit, that concerns me a little bit is that we're all online and I really miss people. I love being around people. And you know what? I think businesses that are going to do really well are going to be the ones that merge the online, offline. And I think because you're doing something so empowering, I can imagine, you going to Birmingham Odeon and having 500 really enthusiastic young kids wanting to see you even, because you're a success story in your own right. Coming from Wales, being an accomplished actress. And I know you don't believe that, but it's absolutely the truth. I think people look at you and see they want to be you, they want to aspire to be you. So I can see that physical, digital working brilliantly.
100%. But what the digital aspect adds is just accessibility.
Absolutely.
People can't get there, and affordability, which is key. But I think certainly, look out for the road show, I say. I am pro on the road. Boom.
I love that idea.
Yeah, me too. I love
it. Charlie, if you could give any advice to an up-and-coming entrepreneur, what would it be?
Okay. What would my advice be? I mean, I would pass on the 1,000 steps advice, one little thing at a time. But I think it's more about trusting yourself and trusting your ideas. And even if, you have loads of failures, I know people say this all the time, but you learn so much from your mistakes. And if you don't try, then you'll never do. And you're here like on planet Earth for one life. Well, we may not be, who knows, different podcast. But you're here for one life. And so it's like, wouldn't you rather like go out with a bang knowing that you tried and explored all of these brilliant different things, and have fun with it, find joy along the way. This is a really long answer to your question. For me, it's not about sort of the destination and the end result. What we have to try and do, I think, as humans, enjoy every part of it and unpick every, even the difficult parts. That's where you learn the most and when you have to dig the deepest, I think. So learn to enjoy the journey.
I spoke to a top CEO last year and said, how did you get into that position? And they said, by experience. And I said, how did you get the experience? And they said, by making loads of mistakes.
Yeah. I'm faking it a bit until you make it. I still feel like I'm totally winging it. Yes, we've done all the research and I'm learning so much as I go, but not being afraid to say, I don't know. I don't know what that means. I didn't even know what a bloody NDA was when I first started out on this. Do you know what I mean? It's like, being vulnerable, being unafraid to be vulnerable, I think is really important. Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you. I think one of the exciting things is it's an absolutely massive learning curve. But I think, you've been brave to do it. And I think the world needs energy like yours. It needs bold thinking. It needs great ideas. So thank you for listening to Bold Thinking, Entrepreneurial Stories Honestly Told. And big thanks to Charlie Brooks. And join us next time to hear from more people making positive changes in the world. Thanks, Charlie. I absolutely love that. And I love your story and the idea.